Haven't even recorded yet.
Oh yeah, I've been recording this whole time.
Oh,
A lot of evidence.
I have something to say about that. When we get on the show,
I can
save
stop
it.
and
I'll save
restart
that
it.
for the show.
I can restart
Oh
it
wow,
if you want.
saving something for the show.
Only the good parts where I yell at Gavin.
I love how I get yelled at. The story of my life. Why can't I get this height to fill the box in CSS? Like seriously, it's pissing
Height
me
100%.
I did that and it just doesn't want to pick up. I don't know enough about CSS to figure out where this.
You got to have like another thing on the outside that defines the size or something like that. I don't know. CSS is so weird.
I know it's like a box in a box, but it won't fit. Like it won't fill it. I don't know why.
You get margins. You got margins and paddings. You got some
They're
paddings
all set
on
to
something?
zero. They're all set to zero.
I don't know.
Yeah, same here. I don't know. That's pissing me off because my boxes are different sizes, and oh damn, that scared the shit out of me.
Did it go
the
live?
Server's on fire, Gavin.
I gotta mute.
Yeah, I guess we're live.
Yeah, it says live.
Yeah, we're live.
Are we live?
Hey, I think we're live.
Yeah, it says it's live. It says it's live up in the corner there. Oh yeah. All right, cool.
I hate CSS.
Hey, Canadians back. Welcome. I am Canada 28.
Hey,
Canadian 28. All right. We had all sorts of technical issues, and this happens. This happens. All sorts of technical issues, and I didn't do my homework. So
tech issues on the tech show.
Mm-hmm. But here we go. We made it happen.
Yeah,
and we're not
here.
recording the same night as ATP, so clearly people can join us. Yeah. I just realized that means I'm going to have to edit this thing for tomorrow.
Yeah, better jump on it.
Nah.
Right after we get off with this.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. It's going to happen. All right.
Hear that?
I'm going to go get some sleep.
Yeah, I don't know why you're doing a show this week, but
I got off a plane yesterday at 5 o'clock in Miami and then drove 3 hours or 4 hours. So a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's do it. I'm going to hit record in something. What I got to hit record on? This is record. I'm recording there.
Yeah.
I'm recording over here. All right, I'm ready. You guys ready?
Whatever.
I thought that's why we started. What are you talking about?
And so what's it? Clap.
Yeah, clap. Everybody clap. All right.
There we go.
The date right. The date's right.
Yeah.
This is the HomeTech podcast for March 24th, 2023 from Sarasota, Florida. I'm Seth Johnson.
From Lewis Center, Ohio, I'm TJ Huddleston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to the HomeTech podcast, a podcast about all aspects of home technology, home automation, fun, crazy stuff. Man, we've been off for a while. I forget what we're supposed to talk about, but that gives us a way to catch up on the news because there's been a lot in the last 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, we went through a kind of a lull. You know, there wasn't much coming out for a little while, so it's good to see some new headlines, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I was on vacation. I said, screw this. There's nothing to talk about in the home technology space. So I'm going to go on vacation. And I went on a cruise, guys. And I don't know if you can tell me I'm kind of sick sounding.
As you do after you get off a cruise.
Might have caught something on the cruise. I don't know. So just some nose decongestion, congestion, whatever. I don't know. It's all coming out now. So it's lovely. It's very lovely. It was a fun 2 weeks though, because we were on a boat for 12 nights. Yeah, 12 nights, transatlantic, and they basically start in Miami and stop in Barcelona, and then you fly back. So it was just kind of a whirlwind. I got off a plane yesterday at 4 o'clock or whatever, and drove back home. So here I am. Yay!
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I've never been on a boat for more than a couple hours. I've never slept on a boat or anything like that, so I can't imagine what that's like.
It's like sleep. I mean, they're big boats now.
Yeah, it's like a whole city kind of thing going on.
Yeah, I got to play. I usually bring the Wi-Fi thing with me. The what's it called? The travel router with me, and hook it up. Now, when I left last time, I didn't edit the show in time. I did download all the files. No, I didn't download all the files. So, Gavin, thanks for your 1.2 gigabyte download. By the way, on the Ocean Wi-Fi.
How do you
to-
have a 1.2
Oh.
gigabyte audio file?
I didn't realize you would be not using fiber for this. You know, I thought you got the new fiber and everything. I was sending you bigger files.
C fiber.
Yeah.
Mm.
We seem to be having network problems tonight too. Jeez, I don't know. I'm going crazy on this side. Are you guys there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm here.
Yeah, there was absolutely no fiber on the Oceans network. I don't know what it was using, but it definitely had issues. And I decided to use the travel router to basically break up how man, I think it's on my end. This is crazy.
I think it's on your end too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't notice anything.
Um,
See what
Did you reboot?
not rebooting, Gavin. It's not happening.
It's a failure option.
I can't believe I'm arguing because we're gonna spend hours and days, and then you'll finally reboot, and they'll be
Yeah,
like,
fix
"Oh,
everything.
yeah,
I am Canadians here too, so that's good.
You'll reboot, and everything will start working, and the printer will break."
2 Canadians in the house, so
They both say
Woohoo.
reboot. It's looking like it is not. It's not. I don't know what it is. It's something going on between here and
The reboot.
yeah.
when in doubt, reboot it.
Yeah, reboot, eh?
No. Yeah, I don't think it's the
What's that in French? Redemare.
no
Ordinateur.
lo siento. Hold on a second.
We're holding on. You're
It seems to have
live.
stabilized, but I don't know what is causing it. I was getting a lot of weird things.
It's a boot time to reboot. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's back now. It was something happening. I'm gonna have to reboot my router. I'm pretty sure.
You're gonna reboot everything but the computer.
No, I'm not rebooting. The computer's fine, man. The
I'm
computer's
never
fine.
rebooting the computer.
Yeah,
No,
this computer hasn't been rebooted since 1990.
I am proud of my uptime. All right.
He hasn't
No,
rebooted
no.
it since he pulled it out of the box.
It's definitely the router. It's not, or there's something going on in the internet rather. Because I just got 5 megabytes download, so that was not good. And then I just did it again. I did a test on the router. The router's fine. I did another test and it's back up to a gig. So I don't know. Something's crazy.
It's fiber.
This is why we can't have nice things, because Seth won't reboot things.
I'm not rebooting.
Oh.
Hey Eddie, welcome back. Long time
Hi,
no see.
Eddie.
All right, back to me griping about
Gavin's audio file. That's
Gavin's
somehow
audio file.
1.2 gigabytes.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I do know how.
How long was it?
I don't know. You know why? Because I just gave up. I hit cancel on that download,
Yeah,
and I just
would too.
downloaded the one that was cut for the show on this thing, and that's what everybody got was the backup audio version, which was not. I think it was 500 megabytes or something. It was something.
I think I
a lot
also
smaller.
I'm recording in high quality too. You know, you said you
Mm.
wanted the best quality possible.
Yeah,
I
I
think
did
Seth
say
ever
that.
said that.
No, I said mono is fine, and I don't need stereo audio. And
Okay, well, this week it's mono.
192 kilobits or whatever you're recording in. I don't need that much. And I don't need the leading, I don't know, hour and a half of dead air before the show that we're just chatting
Whoa,
about.
dead air. I mean, that's good content that you're just cutting
That's
out.
good
Cutting and putting
content.
on the floor.
That locker room talk is great content.
Cut and it's put on the locker room. No, it's put on the ocean floor at this point. So
So
Yeah,
I'm recording at 48,000 kilohertz, 32-bit mono. Is that good enough for you?
that's perfectly fine. I guess 32 bits kind of high, but it'll work. 48 is fine.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Denying us Gavin's silky smooth voice.
Yep. I'm at 500. I'm at 500 meg already, just for you.
I
We just
believe it.
started the show.
2 minutes into the show.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Thanks.
Well, that's
thanks a
all right.
lot.
He's back on land now, so it's okay.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Now it'll all
I've
be
got the
fine.
fiber connection, and if I go reboot my router and not my computer, I'm sure it'll be fine. But
Yeah.
refusing to reboot my computer. So I downloaded it, the files. I put them on my iPad. I was able to edit on my iPad a lot faster than anything. I just kind of like tootle around, and then I uploaded everything from the ocean. So the last show is actually somewhere about like 300 or 400 miles south of Bermuda. I uploaded it, so it's kind of cool.
That's nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're just traveling the world, you know?
Yeah, not on the show. We could have recorded from the boat, I guess, but
That would have been fun.
and a little like live band in the background or something. And I don't know. There wasn't many places that were quiet on there. We had some rough seas. So like the seas were 4 meters. 4 meters. I guess that's
Like the wave
what?
height, or
Yeah, like 15, 20 feet up the top to
because
bottom.
I don't know much about seas, but I feel like they're higher than 4 meters.
I mean, it seemed big enough to me. Like it was moving this giant boat that we were on. So anyway, it was fun. I recommend it. Aside from the sickness that you're inevitably get.
Yeah, my mom's going on a cruise in like a week. I'm like, you're definitely getting sick. She's like, no, I'll be fine. I was like, I don't think so. I would assume at this point you could just automatically assume you're gonna get sick on a cruise.
Yeah, 12 nights will get you there. I don't know, like if you're only there like 3-4 nights, I'd recommend it. Like it doesn't have time to catch you until you're off. But there were 7. We set like a world record. There were like over 7,000 people that were on the boat, so it was a very large boat.
Jeez.
And yeah, it was the most people that have ever crossed the Atlantic on a single ship. Kind of cool, I guess. Didn't know that going into it. I was just like, hey, cheap tickets sound fun, and we've got spring break to kill, so
wow,
let's do it. And then it wasn't cheap. The drinks cost a lot of money.
Yeah, they always get you with the drinks. You got to buy the drink package. If you don't buy the drink package, then it's gonna take all your money.
Yeah,
even the drink package is pretty expensive. I mean, it's
the
not
drink
like
package is
the drink package is
ridiculously
cheap, but it is the better deal if you're going to drink a lot.
You got to drink a lot to meet those drink packages.
That's why some people go on cruises. They go to drink,
Yep. No, I went to eat, like your food vacation things. Like I ate very well on a cruise. The food is basically free. It's decent food most of the time. I noticed towards the end we're not like getting the freshest of bread, and berries like strawberries and blueberries were nowhere to be found. Like we couldn't find them any. But guess what? Ice cream plentiful. So
that's good. That's what matters. The ice cream makes the world go round. So
good ice cream too. So we'll recommend. All right. Well, we do have after being off for 2 weeks, I guess we do have a couple of home tech headlines. So what do you say we jump into them?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I lost them though, so it's not really going to help.
It's because
we give you time off, and look, you just screw this up. You know, the computer.
I'm not rebooting, Gavin.
By the end of the show, you're rebooting your computer.
All right. I actually saw this news from the high seas, I guess. So Wemo has paused development of Matter smart home devices in an email exchange with Jin Wei, Vice President of Global Communications and Corporate Development at Belkin. She confirmed with I guess The Verge over there that the company is convinced that, quote, Matter will have a significant positive impact on the smart home industry. It meaning Belkin or Wemo, has decided to take a big step back, regroup, and rethink its approach to the smart home. We went on to explain that Wemo will bring new Matter products to market when it can find a way to differentiate them from stuff that's coming onto the market. But it seems like Wemo is pulling way back and not going to matter anymore, I guess. Gavin, I'm going to you first because you say they were going to screw it up.
And here we go. This is step one. No, this is I think something we mentioned along way in the beginning that products are gonna have to find ways to stand out from the crowd once we go to this way. Like if Wemo implements Matter, do we really need their app anymore? Like stuff like that. Like a lot of stuff gets thrown out. I'm just happy they are taking a step back and they didn't say no, we're not going to support Matter. They're just going to rethink it and figure out how they can, I guess, monetize it or create their little ecosystem. But I predict more companies are going to be like this. There's just no money in it, just unless you have your own little ecosystem.
Pow, right in the kisser. Just knocking them out right now.
Yeah.
Matter. It's not really getting there, but time will tell. I mean, I know there's certain people that listen to the show and they have high hope in Matter, but I'm still in the opposite side of the fence.
I mean, Matter is more for these manufacturers like Wemo and everything, so they can, instead of having to develop for both HomeKit, Amazon, Google, and everybody, they can at least get the onboarding centralized and put into place. But I don't know, like it doesn't seem like it's something you have to do as a company. Like you can, but I mean, what is Wimo's saying they're going to differentiate themselves? Like, well, what do you have to differentiate? Like you have a smart plug, right? Like,
they're like the original Gunther switch, though, right? Like that's how I look at them. The toggle switch that doesn't toggle. It's just like a lever switch. Yeah.
I mean, my thing is that like the onboarding process and like the adding devices to another ecosystem is 100% important. I don't think anybody's arguing that, but I think at this point, like we just need more from smart home devices. We need them to just work, and we need them to work with all of the features. I mean, it just if you can't use all of the features in a product right away with that new standard, a lot of people are just not going to care about it, and they're going to use the default app.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it just doesn't seem like if Wemo wants to differentiate their products, well, it's like, well, here's a smart outlet. It turns on and off. You really don't need the Wemo app, so it's not going to differentiate. Like, there's nothing special about it, right?
Right.
Like, so there's nothing else that smart outlet's going to do for you outside of the Matter app. So just make it and then shut up, I guess. Like,
yeah.
If you want to make your product differentiate, like make it do something else. Like we're going to talk about a smart outlet here. I guess we can talk about it next, but like it does a whole lot more and potentially more depending on what accessories you pair with it. But like that's one way to make your product stand out, not like backing away from like an industry led and onboarding solution. Like I don't know, like this is what it was made to prevent. We've all been saying, "No, it's not really going to matter." I guess it doesn't. Like, is Wemo like a big enough player to even like? Does it matter if they leave this kind of thing and don't support it?
I feel like Wemo is probably one of the bigger DIY brands. I don't know how popular they are compared to others, but I feel like Wemo is one of the more recommended ones for like some basic automation stuff.
So when I first started, I went with all Wemos, and I had a whole bunch in my house. And, when you had the first two in the house, they worked pretty good. But after, when I started getting 10, 14, you started seeing lag. And then they're on your Wi-Fi, like they're just bogging down your Wi-Fi, because they're doing a lot of broadcasting from each switch. Then they do their auto updates, they get that. I had to rip them all out, and I got rid of them. It was a few months I had them.
So, I mean, maybe that's their play. Make some more reliable products, and then they'll differentiate those from the Matter stuff that's all buggy. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, that's what companies are going to do, right? Is in order to differentiate yourself from everybody else that makes the same plug that's compatible with the same products, you're going to have to add extra features to it that are not going to work within those other ecosystems. They're only going to work within your own. So like I get the value of like being able to add any kind of outlet you want to your ecosystem. But like if you can't do like power reading and all that good stuff that Matter doesn't support right now, then you're probably just going to default to the regular Wemo app and use it off Wi-Fi and all that good stuff. Because why maintain two separate things at that point? Unless it's like Alexa integrating with it or something, I guess.
We're seeing a ton of things pop up in the chat about Wemo is basically not working
Yeah.
and dropping off. So
Not a big player according to Ty.
yeah, they just drop off for no reason, according to I Am Canadian. So like, yeah, that is.
Yeah, they're Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's what, and that's I heard that, like, I have the Wemo devices too, and I had issues, a lot of issues with them, like these issues, Wi-Fi related. I'm like, these are garbage, they don't work, and then I ended up hooking up the Ruckus system here at the house, no issues whatsoever. I haven't tried them because I usually use them seasonally, like around Christmas time. So I have the Netgear stuff on right now. I haven't tried them with these, but they've been extremely solid with the extremely solid with the Ruckus gear and the Ruckus network I had set up. So I don't know, like, could just be incompatibilities with certain Wi-Fi features that get turned on, that kind of thing. So don't know. Usually fixed with a reboot. That's what I was laughing at, because I'm refusing to reboot this computer. I don't care what problems we have, Gavin.
Seth hasn't rebooted his computer in at least 6 years, so he's holding off.
It's a Mac. It doesn't need a reboot.
Doesn't get viruses either.
No, exactly. All right, well, let's talk about the new product here. We've got a new product from, and the edit didn't make it in where I put the name of the company. Lovely. All right, here we go. We got a new product from a U.S. company called Intecular. Soon be not launching its first Matter-compatible smart wall outlet. What's different about this one is you can kind of like put some extras with it that kind of like help define what you want that product to do. So like the faceplate, each faceplate option gives you a different features and that kind of thing, depending on what you want it to serve in the house, right? So they've got what's called an Invisadeco Air, and it's got an air quality monitor, LED indicators. You kind of look over and kind of see how the air quality is in the room just at a glance with it. Includes sensors for temperature, humidity, CO2, and VOCs. Invisadeco Light. It's also a trim plate. It can work in tandem with the existing smart lights to adjust the brightness depending on the ambient lighting, as well as contain a small night light that turns on. It's basically on the bottom of the faceplate. And then they have a motion one, built-in motion sensor, detects move and trigger automations, that kind of thing. So it's all based around like just basically a core smart switch, but then you put the smart plates on, and that's really cool. All Matter compatible. The pricing was up there. It's like $100 a pop, right? And I guess you can get all three for $179. So that might help, but man, kind of expensive to kind of like pair all this stuff up. I do like it. Seems like a pretty cool idea. TJ, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a cool idea because, as we were talking about before the show, is you could customize it for the different areas of the house, right? So in the hallway, you might want like a little motion light. In the bathroom or in the kitchen, you might want the air quality sensor. So that way you can know when Gavin's using the restroom. And you just change out the faceplate. So you buy the same outlet, you put a new faceplate on it, and bam, you're good to go. So I can see this being a thing. The price is a little odd, though. A lot of people have problems spending $100 on a light switch, or like $70 or whatever $60 is for the Lutron Casado switch. A lot of people grab their chest like they're having a heart attack. So $100 for an outlet is kind of a tough sell to me. But I guess if it's doing all these extra things, it might be worth it.
Not Wi-Fi either, so it'll work. Unlike Wemo.
Is it Thread? I guess it works over Thread, right?
Is it Matter, whatever. It's Matter compatible, so
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the price on this is a tough swallow, especially if you're gonna want more than one of them. It reminds me of you ever see those little face plates that you can replace that have the light built into it? It kind of like slides over your existing outlet and makes contact with the power there, and that's how it gets powered. It reminds me of that. And even if they just sold that and made something like that and sold it, would be kind of cool, right? That would be a much easier install, right? But I like to see innovation in this space, though. The one thing I just don't like is, why don't they just have one plate that has all three of these things in it? Why do I have to switch up the plates? I want one with everything, Well,
and that's kind of what I was thinking, right? Because they're not, the one is kind of advanced. That's doing the air quality sensor and stuff. The other one's just like a motion and a light sensor for the separate one. So like they could totally do it all three. It's probably just a cost thing though. They'd probably have to charge like $200 for this outlet. if they were to build all of it. So they just give you the option to customize it.
Yeah, there was a post on /r home automation, right? Or r/home automation, whatever you want to say. The other day about this, and it was some kind of like little display, like a little like beautifully made and crafted display. I thought I wrote it down. I ran across it while I was on the cruise, and I'll have to go back and see if I can find it. But it had like e-ink display, kind of like a little like heads up sensor data, runs on a little battery. Had been really like this project, passion project. It was like they were charging $129 for it, and people were just losing their mind. It was like, I can get this for like $4 on Alibaba, and it's like, yeah, but it's what? Like, oh man, like tough crowd here.
Yeah, the home automation subreddit's a terrible judge for this kind of product just because it's mainly made up of DIY people and they're heavily focused on like making their own stuff.
Right.
So like there's like a current top post right now and it's like a minimalistic door sensor, but it is quite large and way more complex than like a regular door sensor.
And Paul in the chat mentioned Swidget. I think it's called Swidget. Yeah. That it reminds me of that. That was a while ago. It's been a number of years since they came out, but they had that outlet with the middle that you can pull out and put other modules into it.
Mm-hmm.
And that when I first saw that, I thought that was really cool because they had a lot of modules that you could flip around.
Yeah, I think this whole idea is pretty good. And, it allows you to kind of cut down on the waste a little bit because you can just put what you want where, but they got to work on the pricing for it. If this was in the $50 to like $75 range, I feel like people would buy this up. But $100, it puts it way outside the budget for a lot of people.
Yeah, for a smart switch, $100 for a smart switch, like an in-wall outlet. What do those usually run? I want to say they're
Like
around that
$40
price.
or something.
60 to 90. So it's on the high side there.
I mean, like I don't think when you break it down, it's not that bad. But it's one device that you're going to have to buy how many for, and that's what people are looking at. If you just need one, $100 is not bad. But if you need like a dozen, that's $1,200 just on outlets.
Yeah, I mean,
before you would spend like $20 an outlet or something like that, for a normal thing. And obviously, you're getting some extra sensors and all that good stuff, but it's just a big jump.
Right. And I do like that it's using like an existing thing that exists in your house. Like you're not cutting a new hole in the wall or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Although like there are certain cases where I would like worry about like a motion sensor, somebody comes in and puts a piece of furniture in front of this outlet because why would you want to see an outlet on your wall? Like then it's useless. It's not a very good motion sensor at that point. Ambient light, same thing. Like somebody leans something up against the wall and like now the lights are on full bright and I don't know why. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird place to put it, I guess. I don't know. It seems like this would work really well on like a paddle dimmer or like a decor dimmer. Like it'd be great to have that instead of an outlet.
That makes sense. Maybe they're aiming for like newer houses because I know if you have like an older house, outlets were kind of like a rare thing in a lot of spots, but in new houses they're like every 6 feet or something.
6 feet, right. Yeah.
So I mean, there's a ton of unused outlets every single house that I go into now. So maybe like they're aiming for that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, my house I have one on each wall,
right?
If I'm lucky. Yeah, in newer houses there would be 2 on each wall. So yeah. Well, it is an interesting thing. I don't think, and you don't need one on every one. That's what I'm saying. Like you could just use on the one that makes sense for whatever you want to do in that room. But I'm thinking like to get all of that sensor data for the particular room, like you might not want to be reading the ambient light from an outlet location. Like I think the better location would definitely be the smart switch location up higher, and that this may not work very well for that, but I don't know. Great idea. Matter compatible. Good luck to these guys. It's pretty cool. So, I guess let's talk about Toronto-based smart light company, Nanoleaf. I wonder who put this into our show notes. They're rolling out 3 new Matter compatible lights as part of its essentials lines: the A19 BR30 bulbs and a new light strip are the first ever Matter smart lighting available on the market. Says Nanoleaf. The lights work with Matter over Thread for seamless setup and control, and offer white and RGB lighting. The Nanoleaf's Matter-enabled lights will open for pre-order on March 22nd on the company's website. The A19 smart bulb and light strip will be globally available on the website for prices ranging from $19.99 to $49.99. And the BR30 will start being available April on 2023. And other new bulbs like the GU10 and a recessed downlight coming later this year. Also, in the story, Nanoleaf also said existing modular lighting panels, light bars, including shapes, elements, canvas, lines, will receive an over-the-air update later this year to make them compatible with Matter. So, unlike Wemo, Nanoleaf is basically all in and pushing out Matter to all their products. Pretty cool.
I didn't know they were a Canadian company, like I just threw this on there, but because they are a Canadian company, feel free to buy them based on promises. Like
they're telling
they won't let you down. When they say coming later this year, they're gonna bring it later this year. Don't worry about it. They're Canadian. But no, this is good to see. I've been trying to get my hands on a thread-based Matter device. I don't want a Wi-Fi based one, but there's a couple thread-based ones out there, but I can't get a hold of one. So this may be the first one I order.
Yeah, the Nanoleaf stuff looks pretty cool, but it's way too expensive for what I want to spend on lighting. But a lot of the products do look cool. That you can kind of add to them and all that good stuff. So I definitely see the use case for it. Maybe one day I'll be rich enough to buy some.
Yep. Well, let's talk about the stuff we can afford to buy, TJ. SwitchBot, oddly enough, another Canadian no, they're not. They're based in like Delaware or something. A smart home company, SwitchBot, is introducing a new Matter-enabled hub. The $69 SwitchBot Hub 2 arrives in March and will work with all existing and new SwitchBot Bluetooth devices, enable those devices that are supported by the new smart home standard to work with Matter. So that's pretty cool. TJ, you were saying this is a really cool product and that you liked it, especially for $69.
Nice. It is substantially more expensive than the two SwitchBot hubs that I have right now. I think they were like $25 or $30. So this is more than double the price. But you get some nice added features. You get the temperature and humidity. It's got a little screen on there. So, I mean, it seems like a worthwhile upgrade if you care about that stuff. But it is significantly more.
And Ty is a bing the bell. There we go. Thank you, Ty, for reminding me.
New hub.
New hub time. Yeah, I had to dig it out from my desk here.
But all my SwitchBot stuff has worked all right. Both systems. So I have one system at the house that controls a lock, and then I have a system at the office that controls my garage door via one of the little push button things. And both of them I've had to reset one time because they've just dropped the Wi-Fi connection for some strange reason and they wouldn't work again. But after I've reset them, they've been fine. Knock on wood there. Nice. So yeah, I mean, not terrible products for the price. So I'm not hating.
Hey, Kevin, what do you think?
SwitchBot's one of those companies. I like what they do. I like what their price are. I just can't get over the hump, like the aesthetics of their products, like I don't know. I really like everything they do. I like the company. It's just the aesthetics of their products. But yeah, it's good to see that they're getting on the Matter train. I might grab that hub because I picked up a SwitchBot device the other day to do some testing with, and but I have it integrated directly with Home Assistant, so I might not need the hub in that case.
Are you just using the little button pusher?
Yeah, a little button pusher,
Yeah, that's nice because you can pair it directly to Home Assistant with Bluetooth.
Yeah.
I cannot do that with the lock or anything else, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm trying to do some other things with it, but it's just not powerful enough. I'm finding the motor inside, but it's a cool little device. Like when you think about what it does and how they did it, it's really cool. So I might buy a coffee maker just to put the button on it.
There you go. Yeah, mine is.
I thought this was going to be for flushing the toilet. I thought that was where you're going with it.
I tried. It's just not powerful enough. You need a stronger motor in there to flush that toilet.
The problem is Gavin needs to flush several times, and it's not up for repeated actions.
You need levers and pulleys, my friend. It's the power of the fulcrum. Yeah.
No, mine at the office is double-sided taped and silicone to my remote garage door controller, so I can open it from anywhere that I have internet, and it works great. It looks like but it works great. My neighbor came over the other day, and he was like, how did you open the garage door when you were on the phone with your delivery person?" So I like walked him over to the button that's like hanging off my shelving unit. And I was like, "This right here, this beautiful
This piece
piece
of
of work
magic."
here." And he was like, "Oh yeah, it totally makes sense." It
Beautiful. Too good. But so I guess let me kind of take a little backtrack here. If I don't have Home Assistant with Home Assistant thing that's just running on the server, right? Like I would need either a Bluetooth dongle, or hub too. And then could I integrate like through the hub to Home Assistant? Is that how it works?
Yes,
Or
and it
do I have
depends on what devices you have. So if you have the actual SwitchBot Mini, I think they call it, it works via Bluetooth and you can connect it to Home Assistant. But if you have some other devices that work via Bluetooth, it might not be supported directly. So like my lock is not directly supported via Bluetooth. I have to integrate with the hub. So it works over, the
the
cloud.
locks are what I'm thinking about. I got a lock I need to replace. So.
Yeah, I mean you can use it with Home Assistant, but it's still going through the cloud, so it's not really like a direct integration or anything.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't talk directly to the hub; it goes through like some API. That's
correct.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
And they just added that like 2 or 3 months ago, so who knows if they'll be able to do anything else with it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, cool. I'll have to keep an eye on it, but maybe a different. I'm probably not going to end up with a SwitchBot lock. I'm thinking I have to get a lock, the new smart lock.
It is ugly, but it works great.
till the silicone falls off the door, right?
Well, it comes with strong double-sided tape, so it's all right.
3M tape.
Yeah, it's good.
Genuine.
The good stuff.
All right. Well, Ring has announced a new battery doorbell plus. It's the first battery power unit with 150 by 150 degree field of vision and 1536p video. No idea why they stopped at 1536, but there it is. It says the new greatly increased view of the vertical space will make it easier to see or get a head-to-toe view of your visitors, as well as visibility when the driver leaves a box up at the door on the floor. The Ring battery doorbell plus is available pre-order today for $180 with shipping expected to begin on April 5th. I do like this trend where we're getting better video, but also getting like a wider view angle, especially to see like what is down being delivered, like seeing people drop stuff off and that kind of thing. It's very useful. Like I think when all these video doorbells came out, it was like, well, you want to see who's at your door. But as it turned out, like the camera lens basically, you can't see your floor mat. You can't see your door unless it's positioned, just so and correctly. And turns out we've been getting a lot more deliveries, especially through the pandemic, and you couldn't see what people were delivering. So I think it's really cool to see like solutions start to finally come out around this particular feature.
And the one thing I have to say about Ring is they have some great marketing, because my mom actually emailed me asking me about this. And I'm like, I don't know where she heard about this or how she heard about this, but she was like, hey, there's a new Ring doorbell. Did you know? And I had to talk her down off the ledge because she already has one. She doesn't need to upgrade it. I just outfitted her with 3 Ring devices. She doesn't need another one, but I guess that was her gateway drug into home automation at that point, right?
She wants the latest and greatest, Gavin. Just
I can't believe you installed that old stuff when you knew this stuff was coming out.
Oh, geez, like don't get me started. But it's cool that they went with the single lens instead of the dual camera setups that I've been seeing some people do. Where they have one camera looking down and one camera looking out. I like that they kept it in one frame, and like it will probably roll out to their other cameras eventually.
Yeah, I wish it was in the Ring Pro, because I like using the slimmer model. I think it just looks more aesthetically pleasing.
Better. Yeah,
they'll come to that. I'm sure they'll get it eventually.
Yeah. I don't see why they couldn't, but
that kind of thing usually filters through the line over time. Like they each one of their products has a different time that it kind of like starts and gets rotated out. And we tend to see like the battery stuff like get, I don't know, like it seems like the battery, like the lower end or the mid-level battery stuff gets the new tech first. And then the pro stuff starts getting updated. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll see this kind of stuff put on there too. I think the pro one did just get updated with like higher resolution.
Yeah, it did, but not this super sweet camera. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I like Ring just because a lot of their stuff is battery powered or wired powered, so that's always convenient. Most of the time when I'm installing it, I'm wiring them. But there's a lot of houses in America that do not have wiring at the doorbell, or maybe there was a renovation and somebody got rid of the wiring, or whatever reason there is. So having the battery as an option is great.
It's definitely helpful. And Ring seems to, I mean, besides all their faults and getting hacked, I don't know. Do you guys see the story where they got hacked? And it's like, maybe it's a story, maybe it's not. I haven't heard anything since it came out. They haven't acknowledged that they got hacked.
Yeah.
So I don't think they actually
covered up the story.
Yeah. I mean, I think Amazon would, or I would hope that it would probably be a bigger story if they covered it up. But I would hope that they have the disclosure and say, oh yeah, we got hacked. But somebody was saying that it was one of their partners or something that had API access that got hacked. Wasn't me.
It's always somebody else.
Wasn't me. I can tell you that. Like, I don't
it's like that Spider-Man meme pointing at each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not me. It wasn't me.
Paul Ellis in the chat saying, I imagine the Pro line sells way less since the battery is easier to retro. I would assume so, because a lot of homeowners don't want to touch wiring.
No, absolutely. No, if you can get it put up there and just take it down and charge it once a month or something like that. Like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of houses I go to every day, and I would say 10 to 20% of them, if I had to take a guess, had like a battery-powered video doorbell installed right next to their doorbell.
Yep.
It's always like the first thing I offer, like no matter what I'm there for. I'm like, we could just remove the need for the battery, right? Like we can just install it. Like, half the time they want to do it, and half the time they're just like, it works. I don't really care.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, it kind of like bring this one up too. Aqara actually came out with a smart video doorbell G4. Looks pretty decent. I mean, you're definitely not going to miss the button to ring the doorbell on this thing. Right?
This ain't no doorbird.
No, this isn't your daddy's doorbird. No. It's got a bunch of neat things. 1080p video, kind of lower resolution sensor, 162 degree wide angle lens. Indoor chime repeaters included, which is nice. 7 days of free cloud storage. Got SD local storage for recording, so you can manage that stuff local. It's got dual power options for the outdoor unit as well, so you can again power it with a battery pack for up to 4 months, or you can use the AC DC transformer inside and power it over wire. Local facial recognition. I don't know how you do fecal recognition on your doorbell, but whatever.
I don't think I want that.
Nope.
Is that a cat or a dog?
This is the mailman. And then I don't know. It doesn't look terrible. Like it actually it's big, but it's got a big giant doorbell button. But other than that, it doesn't look bad.
No, I'd go for it. I mean, it is like for size reference, it's about 3/4 of an inch wider than the Video Doorbell Pro from Ring. So probably not going to fit in a lot of spots that I can install a video doorbell on, but it does not look bad.
Right.
It comes with a door chime in the box, which is pretty convenient. I can't really tell what the little thing is on the right-hand side. It's on the edge past the camera. It kind of looks like a fingerprint sensor from the images, but it could also be, anything else, I guess.
I think it's a speaker. Is it a speaker? Or?
Could it be a speaker?
I think it's a button.
Yeah, it looks like a button or like a cover, like a SIM card cover kind of thing.
Oh,
so I was thinking it might be like an SD card, but that seems like an awful security idea to put an SD card on the outside.
Yeah.
But I don't see like an installation manual or anything, so I can't really tell what it is.
No, and the little like expando view doesn't really show it. It shows the speaker, but it doesn't show. It's on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So the explosive view that they have on here. Man, this thing could be tiny if they just removed the battery, the 6-pack battery. If you scroll down the page,
yeah, right.
It's the width of the battery pack, like 6A
Yeah.
batteries that they put in this thing.
They need that though for the 4 months of battery life it can
I
have.
guess so. Yeah. But a good idea. Did it say anything about the price on it? What this is now?
$120 on Amazon. You can buy it right
Oh.
now.
Yeah, well, I would say definitely worth it.
Yeah, definitely worth
Pretty good.
$120.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see how well it works. And I mean,
Ooh. I mean, look, this is the best feature. I don't know why Ring hasn't implemented this yet, but you can actually change your voice with it. So as you talk over the video doorbell, you can be a robot, or the options it gives you in the description is to protect privacy. The G4 is able to change your voice to one of 4 options, such as uncle, robot, etc.
uncle?
Do you ask to record my uncle so that way you can sound like my uncle? Is this somebody else's? Whose uncle is this?
It's like
Which
that creepy
uncle
old
is
man
it?
on Family
Yeah.
Guy. What are you boys doing?
This looks like a nice unit though. I would buy this if I needed a big video doorbell.
And it's $150 Canadian in the
Mm.
Amazon store. So, you
That's right.
know,
Yeah.
it's a good price though. When you think
Yeah.
about how much your others cost, this is not a bad price. And for what you get, it's pretty good. I like the flexibility with the batteries, or you can have it powered.
And the SD card. I mean, that's
Yeah.
big.
Up
Having
to
multiple
512 gigs. I mean, think
Yeah.
of how many days of recording that would be.
It does local streaming to, your Google or your Matamay devices, if you trigger it through there. I was trying to figure out if it supported like RTSP or streaming or anything like that, so we could hook it up to like other NVRs, but there's no information on that, so I highly doubt it.
Yeah, it would be nice if it like constantly stream, like you could hook it up like that.
Well, yeah, if you hooked it up powered, right, and then you could stream constantly,
Yeah.
that would be fine, right?
Yep.
Ooh. You can
at what-
customize the ringtones as well. I love this
Man.
page already. This example says personalized custom ringtones. A little caption above the video doorbell says Tom is not home. Please come back tomorrow. And then next to it has a picture of the chime and it says Daddy is home. Who designed this webpage for this video doorbell?
It's an awesome website. Like, I
Delicious.
love the design, They make it look like the coolest doorbell out there. The job well done. And you can get it in black or shadow gray.
It's two distinctly different colors.
Yeah. Like seriously, they could have a little
like
bit
a white
more.
or like a beige or something,
Yeah,
Yeah. Go silver,
It's slightly
black,
different.
black and shadow gray. Yeah. But it has a matching chime too, so.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. I like that it comes with a chime, in the box. That's a good feature. And if it can announce Daddy's home every time I come home, I might just buy this now.
You know what? I think I'm gonna
It has to
program
say
it
it just right though.
I think I'm gonna put that in my home assistant to announce it every time I come home and the wife's watching TV.
If wife is home, announce this.
Yes.
It does it by facial recognition too. So
Yeah.
automations are true.
Daddy's home. That ding dong, Daddy's home.
Oh man, I am glad we found our show title. I was worried about it, but no more.
We always find something good.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on here to our. Oh man, moving on to our last security-related topic. Oh man. Home Assistant has announced a security issue that impacts installations using the Home Assistant Supervisor. A fix for this security issue has been rolled out to all affected Home Assistant users by the Supervisor auto update system, and the issue is no longer present. The Supervisor is basically an application that runs on some installations and is responsible for system management. The issue allowed an attacker to remotely bypass authentication and interact directly with the Supervisor API, basically giving them access to install Home Assistant updates, manage add-ons, and backups. Analysts shows that this issue has been present in Home Assistant since the introduction of the Supervisor in 2017. It's been out there for quite you can verify you've received the update on Home Assistant page and verify you're running Supervisor 2023.03.1 or later. So that sounds like a pretty major thing. Get out there and update your home assistant supervisor thing and get it updated.
Yeah, and like this article just came out, and there's already or laters out there. I think I've updated it 3 times since. So that's the thing about Home Assistant. There's multiple updates every week, so get to the or laters now.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what let's see if I can take off these and write them off. Well, I can't really tell what the percent. They said there was like 33% have already been updated, but I don't really know, like, of the super, like, they have these graphs that you can kind of go in and kind of tweak things around, but I don't know what it is. It seems like, so the supervisor is the one that you can basically like really get in there and tweak, right? That's the one that's the one you were making me run, right? It's not the one that you can just run on the Raspberry Pi or something, right?
Yeah, I think the supervisor is the one that's involved when you set it up as a VM.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
gets set up there, so it handles updating and stuff like that. So, and I always encourage people, if you're going to set up Home Assistant, throw it in a VM. It's so much easier than
yeah,
a Docker or anything else.
yeah. That's how I mean, I have it running. It's probably not updated, but maybe I should. I don't know. It's not really exposed to the internet or anything, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, go update. Updates are good. It looks like people like their updates with Home Assistant. Man, they have been busy with updates. Jeez Louise.
Well, luckily this one you don't have to update; it just does it for you. So
yeah, there you go.
that's nice.
Fun. I love automation.
Automating the automations.
All the links and topics we discussed tonight can be found on our show notes over at HomeTech.fm/428. Nothing in the mailbag this week, but we do have a pick of the week thanks to Gavin. Gavin, I think Gavin put this in here. It's a look back at Microsoft's 1999 smart home and what it got wrong and right. Cool video. It kind of like went over most of the like voice assistant stuff and like identification. Just kind of what Daddy comes home.
Way cooler though.
Recognizes you at the door. So I don't know. It's in like little pop-ups in the corner of the TV of who is at the door and that kind of thing. A lot of right stuff here.
It was actually interesting to watch because it was from 199, I believe, right? So
yeah.
Here we are many years later, and they were predicting what the future would be like, and they were pretty good with their predictions. I mean, they were limited by the technology they had. Like, it didn't look as pretty as it does today. But I wish they probably didn't predict like how many walled gardens we'd be facing, in this day and age. But a lot of stuff they do has become a norm to a lot of people today.
What do you mean? It just doesn't. The interfaces they're showing don't look any different than Windows.
I was gonna say most of the time they look all right.
Or like Windows exactly 1. Like Windows 11. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but they have to reboot more often to fix problems.
It's the same Internet Explorer icon. Jeez.
A lot of this stuff is really cool, but it's a lot of people don't realize that automation's kind of been a thing for several decades at this point. So a lot of this stuff was already happening. It just didn't happen for the average consumer, right? Whereas now you can go out and buy a $120 video doorbell that does facial recognition and stuff like that. Back then they were doing stuff similar, but they weren't doing anything as cheap as they were now, and nowhere near as clean looking.
Right. I mean, the example that they have where it has the TV and the picture-in-picture in the corner with the person, standing there. It's another camera looking at the front door, as they've come up and rung the physical doorbell, because they didn't have video doorbells back then. Why would they even conceive of having a camera right at the doorbell? But yeah, it makes sense. A lot of this looks like I don't know. You guys remember like those interface for I forget what it was. Life. Richard is going to come on the thing and yell at me. Life something. It was Microsoft's like media management thing. It looked really cool, but a lot of it kind of looks like the beginning of that. There's especially what they're showing on the TV. No, that's a conference room thing. It was something with an L. I don't remember.
He's yelling at the radio right now.
Yeah, he will be. Don't worry. Like, I can't review. I don't really have much of a brain tonight because still in travel mode. So forgive me there at least. But I can see the interface in my head. I know I installed it on a bunch of Windows computer and used like IP control into like a keyboard, a little program that accepted commands from a key and converted them into keyboard commands, because you had to run it from your keyboard, which was kind of awful. You had to remote with a keyboard on it. It was the dumbest thing ever. That would have been price per button database. Like, we should go back and look at what those cost.
We don't want to break it.
Yeah, you got a full keyboard on the back of the remote, and you could type on your TV. How cool is that? Anyway, I don't know, cool video, a little nostalgic to go back and look at what was going on in 1999, and people having that computer, like a literal computer sitting on their computer in their
That
kitchen.
was funny. They actually had a full computer. It was a CRT monitor sitting on there. I don't have that kind of counter space to put a computer on. Like, can you imagine just, coming home and saying, honey, I have a new computer for the kitchen, and you set it up right there. What she's gonna say? Yeah, it wouldn't fly.
You can take that out of here.
Yeah.
Daddy's not home.
For the time though, that monitor is pretty thin,
Yeah.
I was still
LCD.
rocking a very thick monitor back then, so.
Yeah, they have some LCDs in this video. So like the early plasma LCD screens are what they're showing off. But
I remember around that time the monitors got so big and so deep that I barely had room on my desk for the keyboard. Right? Because the monitors were right in your face at that point, right? But they've come a long way now.
Yeah. Yep. No, it's definitely small. Definitely, I can have a much. My desk is only like 24 inches deep, but I've got like arm stands that hold the monitor like off the back of the desk, so it's great.
Yeah, those are the best.
Yep. All right. Well, questions, comments, picks of the week, or great ideas for a show, give us a shout. Our email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or you can visit HomeTech Feedback and fill out that online form. All right, project updates. Daddy is home and he hates printers again. What's going on, Gavin?
I really hate print. Like I remember I hated printers, and then I finally got it working properly. And for a while it was working, and I think I got an update from Unify or something, but I hate printers again. These brother printers, and I was griping on Mastodon about it. I think someone else was as well agreeing with me, and they also had a brother printer. So I was starting to think, my old printer was a brother printer. My new brother printer is a brother printer. They have a brother printer. Is it just brother printers? But every time my wife goes to print something, all I hear is, Gavin, it's not working. And then I have to do the song and dance, and then I eventually reboot it to fix it, right? See, reboot. You got to reboot. But I hate printers again. I'm still trying to figure out why this printer keeps going offline. It won't stay awake, or, sometimes you go to, and it's all AirPrint. It's all Wi-Fi. So there's something up with it. I just don't know. I give up.
All right. So interestingly enough, I have a brother printer too. It's the HL3170 CDW. It's like a color laser. I think it was like $109 on sale. And I have it hardwired in. And recently, and not like I updated this thing or anything, like it just sits there on the network and prints things. It's connected. It says it's idled. But recently on my wife's Windows computer, because she has a Windows computer, she can't print. She says, not Gavin. She says, Daddy, the printer. she says,
Daddy.
Yeah, she says the printer is not printing anymore. You need to fix it, and that's what we've been doing. So I'm a Windows related issue, and not brother, because I can print to it anytime I want. I'm looking at it right now. I can connect to it. I can check the options.
Just wait till you reboot your
supply levels. No, I'm not rebooting. I mean, because then my printer won't work. So, why would you do that? But I mean, our solution has been to go like turn the print, like you physically have to walk up to turn it on out of that deep sleep mode for whatever reason. Maybe it's just a Windows computer thing that's not updating or not waking it up from that deep sleep. It's really weird that it's all brother printers at this point. Now,
I think in our case it has.
Okay, well,
in this case, it has to do with AirPrint, so it's coming from our Apple devices.
Your phone,
right?
Yes.
Oh,
talk about yourself, because I have two brother printers that work great, and you better not mess them up.
My brother printer, like I love this thing. It's great. I'm pretty sure I can print from my phone if I wanted to right now. if I tried.
I like them. It's just I'm having no luck with the air print, and I just give up. So when she prints, she usually has to restart it, and then it starts spitting out everything.
Yeah,
I hate
is it
printers
just,
again,
it's
though.
just her phone. Just tell her to get a new phone.
Full time.
Well, we did buy this. I did buy this photo printer. It just prints like 4x6s, right? And it's is it Epson or Canon, one of them. And every time I go to print, it will never see my brother printer, but it finds this one. And there's no way I'm not gonna make the mistake of printing a document on my photo printer, but that one works fine. So I'm like, why
weird.
does the brother one not work the same way? I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah.
That's
I
really
check
weird.
for a firmware update. Let me see if there's an update for it.
Yep, it's always something dumb like that.
Yeah.
It's probably that the iOS devices got updated to a new version of AirPrint, and the brother is like on an old version.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. It's funny that's happening here. But I love this thing. I have no problems with it. Get a brother printer. Make sure you get the brother printer. It's good. TJ, you got an award, man. This is a big deal. What's this award about?
You know, I got this glass shiny shard thing from the local Chamber of Commerce for Entrepreneur of the Year. So we had our annual dinner for the chamber. I think it was last Tuesday or Wednesday, and to my surprise, I won an award. So that's been pretty cool.
Congrats, man! It's the Entrepreneur of the Year award. There, yeah. TJ Hudson, connect you. Very good.
And it's the very first one, so it's the inaugural one. I feel like they made it for me, but we'll find out who wins next year. I guess they just won't have it next year. It's like, nobody else, you know.
Yeah, I was so happy when I saw it because to all of our surprises, you got awards. So
people like me, Gavin. I know you don't believe it, but a lot of people like me, and I'm still trying to find out why. To be honest, like I'm with you. I get where you're coming from and everything, but people.
I wonder if I share the pre-show recording with them, what they'll think.
Sometimes I tell people about the podcast. I'm like, did I say anything bad about them? No, we never do that.
Well, you've also been pretty busy. You got a couple of projects on here on the list. I've just been doing nothing because why would I be doing anything besides drinking Mai Tais on the Lido deck?
Well, that sounds better, to be honest.
Yeah, you've been building things and labeling your van. So
yeah. So we're just gonna do a project dump here because we've had a lot of stuff going on in the past couple weeks. I got the van lettered, so I've had the van for about a year now. I think I got it in like May of last year, and it's just been a sketchy plain white van for this whole year. And I couldn't really decide on what to get it lettered as, right? Like some people tell you that you should get a full on wrap for the vehicle. Some people say, oh no, you just need like your logo and like your phone number. And I went back and forth on what to put on the van. And honestly, I'm very happy with what I did. So we'll put an image in the show notes there. But it's just my logo in the center of the van on each side. It says audio, data, security, and video on the back as you do when you're in this kind of business. And then it's got the phone number and the website on the door on each side. And on the back, it's got kind of the white perforated vinyl stuff. So you can see out of the back of the window, but they can't really see inside with, my logo and all that good stuff. So I'm just very happy with how it turned out. It wasn't the most expensive thing in the world. I think it was like, $1,300 or something for the installation and all the vinyl and all that good stuff. So I'm not hating at all. The installers did a good job, like even on the hinge that Seth is showing off here. So he's showing off the van on the video chat. On the hinge, they even put like the vinyl on there, so that way it wouldn't break up the lettering any. So that way it wasn't just like a white space. So like they just did a very good job of installing everything, and I'm very happy with it.
No, it looks great. It really does. Like you've done a great job here.
I was under the impression that I would walk out like the next morning and just like hate it, when I was initially talking about getting it done. But I walked out the next morning and I was like, yep, this looks like a legit company's van. So I'm happy with it.
Very good. Very good.
I've also got a Cubicle 2.0 going on. So I went and bought a used Cubicle for the new office. It was like $200, and it's good enough for what it is. But as I've sat here and doing the podcast and stuff like that, some of the things are hard to control. Like I got some outside sound coming in, and I've got some light that I can't control. So if I sit still for 30 minutes in my unit, the motion turns the light off, and I have to jump off the podcast and go dance around for a little bit to turn it back on. There's no like manual override on my unit. So I'm building a bigger cubicle with like 7-foot walls, and I'm going to put a ceiling on there. Maybe I'll get some nano leaf lights to kind of light it up. But just something to kind of help out with the audio quality and kind of give me like a more defined office area. So Seth has it on the video there if you're paying attention to the show right now. It's a work in progress. I'm not in a rush to do it, and it's a great way for me to learn how to build walls before I buy a house this fall. So it's it'll be a fun project.
And I mean, is it to code? Like, do you have to make it to code? Is there permitting involved here? Or
No, absolutely not. It's just gonna sit in the back of my office where my current cubicle is. Like, it's gonna have an extension cord run through the back of it. Like, it's not like a permanent structure by any means. And I don't know if my management company that like rents the office is gonna care about it, but I don't think they're gonna care about it.
It looks fairly like it could be fairly temporary. Like you could just disassemble it if you did it right.
Yeah, and this is
or
so
just tip it over.
It would just light it on fire, actually.
Right, put it out in the dumpster. You're pretty good. Yeah.
And that's what I anticipate, right? Because I don't know how long I'm going to stay at this place, so I needed something that I could like take apart with relative ease. So I made it to where like I basically just take each side off, and then I can put it somewhere. So I got to figure out how I'm going to do the plywood on top of that, so I can kind of keep that same mentality. But you know, it's going to be a lot better than what I have right now.
Nice.
And then just one more thing. I'll talk about the other thing next week because we can talk about that anytime. But I've been putting off buying an iPad Pro 12.9 inch because I just could not justify the cost, right? So for the cellular option with 128 gigs, I think by itself is like $1,400. And then you add the keyboard case, and then you add the insurance, and you're like $1,700 for like a tablet. And I never wanted to spend that on a tablet, but having a cellular tablet that I can just whip out and kind of use like a laptop without having the fullness of a laptop has been really convenient. And it's been so much better than the Android tablet I just had. And I understand that like the iPad Pro is relatively new compared to the Android tablet I was using. But like the Android tablet just had all kinds of problems where it would just randomly crash apps. And, you know, if you did split screen mode, the apps had no idea of what was going on, so that you couldn't really use anything in split screen. The iPad Pro software, I think, is really good for multitasking. You can do window on top of windows. You can do a split screen. And it's just a lot more well built for multitasking. So the software itself is definitely an improvement on just like base Android on a giant screen.
Yeah.
It definitely hurt the wallet though buying that. So
yeah, I think we talked about this before. I just wish it was like 20% more computer and 30% less iPad.
yeah.
It's so close. It's so close to being actually just a full-blown Mac computer, like in a really awesome one at that. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it can definitely be better, but it doesn't really have any competition. So it's really good at what it does compared to everybody else because everybody else sucks.
Yep. I mean, they still go down to like the $300, maybe $300 range, $299 to $399 somewhere there, and then all the way up to what you're talking about, $2,000 for an iPad. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I wanted something with a big screen. Like I needed something that I could, I go to job sites and I want to pull up diagrams, or I'm going to like meet up with somebody and I just want a quick way to pull up stuff without bringing out my giant 17.5-inch laptop that always needs to be charged because I don't use it that often. Yeah, and it doesn't have cellular built in, so I have to like hotspot off my phone, which drains both batteries at the same time. This thing, I whip out anywhere I'm at and I just use it, and that's super convenient.
Battery's always on because I mean they last forever, but
long.
Yeah, with that screen, it'd be good for like the pictures that you take with the theater. You could just put those like previous work you've done. It's gonna look great on the screen. So it's definitely a good presentation tool too. So cool.
Yeah.
Well, I've been wanting a newer iPad, but I just can't. I can't justify. Well, I could justify it, but I'm not going to.
You don't need to.
Don't need to justify it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and I'm not a big tablet person. Like I've went through many tablets in my lifetime. Tablets for me are mostly inconvenient, but I think that maybe the inconvenience is solved by the cellular portion. So we'll see how I feel in a month or two, because with a tablet, a lot of people keep it at their house, but if you take it with you, you have to use a different device in order to basically use the tablet. So I'm hoping that the cellular portion it makes that a lot more convenient, and it makes me actually want to use it. And I'm only paying $20 a month for unlimited internet on it. So it's not like it's a big drain on the wallet or
that's cool.
anything. Like
Yeah.
I just use it whenever I want.
Is that T-Mobile that has that plan, or
So that's AT&T,
AT&T? Yeah,
which was surprising.
Yeah, I forget about that. They have that unlimited tablet plan that
Mhm.
a lot of people use to put inside their home routers somehow. But yeah, cool, very cool. Well, yeah, keep us updated on how you like using it. We'll have to check into that. Now you got me thinking, like, maybe it is the cellular part that I don't like too much, because it's kind of like the issue I have with the tablet. Is not convenient because it's not really ever connected to anything, and every app you have on your phone is connected. That's the problem.
Right. Well, and that's
Yeah.
that's the thing, right? Is that like and the tablet is basically just a glorified phone, in my
Right.
opinion. It doesn't really do that much different. And so with your phone, you just pick it up and you use it. You don't really have to think about it. But the tablet, if you don't have the cellular portion, it seems like it's a lot more thought that goes into it. And I've only ever owned Wi-Fi tablets before this. So
Yeah, James is saying I use iPad Pro every day at work. Check out Good Notes. I can recommend that as well. And Morphiolo Trace. I don't know about that one, but I will check it out.
Never heard of any of those, so I'll look into it.
Yeah, Good Notes is a good note taking app. Oh, works well. All right. Well, this wraps up this week. We do want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, but especially those who are able to financially support through our Patreon page. If you don't know about the Patreon page, head over to HomeTech.fm/support. Turn in how you can support HomeTech and our fledgling HomeTech.social server, Mastodon instance.
Join us.
Yeah, it's been great. Like I used it the whole cruise. It was always working. I didn't have to worry about it. It's working great. For as little as $1 a month, any pledge over $5 a month gets you a big shout out here on the show. But every pledge gets you an invite to our private Slack chat, the Hub, where you and other supporters of the show can gather every day and talk about all sorts of fun stuff. And TJ's award, congratulations, TJ! It's awesome.
Thank you.
If you want to help out the show but can't support financially, totally appreciate a 5-star review on iTunes or positive rating in the podcast app of your choice. That wraps up another week of news here on HomeTech. We will see you next week.
Take care.
Farewell.
Oh. Awkward.
I'm making through the list. I gotta get a different
it.
list. What are you saying? I said farewell.
Daddy's gone.
Well, I'm not saying that.
All right.
I updated the firmware on my printer. Let's see if this helps.
Did you reboot it after you updated it, though?
You got to reboot it. Yeah.
I know it rebooted itself, so we're good. See, because updates usually reboot the computers.
That's the issue, man. If you got a good setup, you don't update. That's the problem. If you update,
well, I hope that
what are you, 80 years old?
That non-rebooted computer can handle this 1.16 gigabyte audio file. I don't even hear him swearing at this point. Did he mute us?
Oh,
and he's back.
You gotta reboot it.
I stopped my microphone as I stopped the recording. I just closed the program.
See the power of a reboot.
Yeah, just like reboot and just freeze the whole thing up. So,
yeah.
All right, guys, it's fun being back. I guess I have to edit this sometime tomorrow.
You better jump on it.
Yeah,
you better start downloading from today. It's fine.
I kind of want to back tomorrow, so might go do that.
Drive.
John Wick numero cuatro, I guess.
Yeah, that looks good.
Spanish more. It does. I mean, it's always been a fun movie. So
yeah,
Fare Thee Well on the list. I don't think Fare Thee Well is on the list, actually. I think wasn't this list created by like ChatGPT or something?
Fare Thee Well? What is that?
No, he's saying for the goodbye sayings that I switch out every week.
Oh yeah, it's ChatGPT definitely created it.
Yeah,
I was like, how to say goodbye on the podcast.
Yeah, but Fare Thee Well is not on the list for some reason. That's a good point.
What episode is this? 428?
428.
Oh, TJ built made it in Vance.
Morfolio trace. What
What?
does this do? More.
Say I made it on Vance.
Oh no, you had a bunch of folders up to 430.
Oh yeah, because I got tired of like adding it last second. So
Okay, I'm gonna stop my recording now. All 1.18 gigabytes.
This is not gonna. If I'm on another cruise tomorrow, you're not getting good audio.
You know, if you're on a cruise tomorrow, I'm gonna be surprised.
I will say, like I went back and I mean, it took me a lot longer because I'm slower at it, but it was fun. I edited it on the Ferrite app on iPad, and it was just kind of cool. Like it's got a lot of cool little shortcuts that I had set up on it to make it easy. Or some Morfolio trace is cool. But the Ferrite thing worked well, and since our audio was pretty clean, didn't have to do too much to it. So, yay! It's like a sketch, because they call it Sketch CAD, I guess. So you can like sketch stuff down. This is probably what honestly Owen should be using for his theater stuff. He uses.
He has a more complex thing, right? I'm always
Owen
impressed
uses like this like a super old program. That he was
sometimes
showing
you're so comfortable with it that you know it inside and out that you'll just use it, and you could be a master at an old program and do something better than a new program. But
and this may not do what he needs it to do either. I don't know. It looks like it might though. I'll have to show.
Look, there's a software solution for everybody. You just have to find out what works best for you.
Yep. This is pretty cool though. I like it. I'm gonna see if I can use it for I don't know what. I like apps. So
I have to buy a new tablet then.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh well, I guess I have to buy that iPad Pro I've been talking about.
Oh man,
I'm looking at like their sample images, and I'm like, I'll never be able to design something like that.
Well, they've got a bunch of different type of apps too. A journal app, the CAD one.
That's a lot of lines.
So they have Morfolio Present too. That could be good for your like lookbook type thing, where you put together presentations and that kind of thing. Portfolio, flipbook portfolio. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool company. So check them out. Good recommendation, James. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks, James.
Sketch out TV and speaker layouts, including lighting layouts, etc. Interesting.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yep, cool. All right, guys. Thanks very much. Thanks for joining us. A lot of people tonight. 5 people in there.
Yeah, that's 5 people a lot.
Ooh. We're not.
Look at us. We're getting popular.
Oh, March Madness is on. I forgot.
It's only because I won the award. Everybody's paying attention to that.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see what we had to say about it. So,
yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.